Now that we've got products and categories set up, we can go ahead and start digging deeper into our app. The first thing that I want to do today is all of these images here are going to end up being sort of a little featured section for us. What I did was I went ahead and I already added some images for us, public images. There's going to be a link for these in the description to the Dropbox so that you can have access to all these images. Either they were from the internet from ages ago or from Unsplash. They're from all over everywhere, but I'm gonna give you the link to them in our Dropbox. Okay, so these are the images, very simple. I already uploaded them. Fantastic. Now, because we are seeding all of our products into the database, we need to change our seeder so that we can include those images. So the first one we can put right above product code, and the key will be image. Then it's going to be in a products folder. It's going to be in a December 2021 folder. And then for this one, it's going to say women's. We're going to concatenate an I, and then we're going to add the extension of PNG. Putting it in a December 2021 folder is just for organization. You can set it up however you want to set it up. This is how I'm choosing to do it, and you're free to do it in your own projects however you would like. This is just better organization for me. So we're going to copy that one. We're going to come down to men's, and all we need to do here is now just change this to men's. Go down to kids. Home goods. This is again, home goods dash whatever the number is .png is the name of the file extension for our image. So now let's go ahead and reseed our database. Looks like everything went through okay, and we should be good to go. Now let me close this up a little bit. We'll close this, and now let's open up the welcome controller. We're going to do something similar as we did to categories, and I'm going to create a featured variable. It's going to be product take for in random order. Get name, slug, and image. Then we want to bring it in here. We can actually get rid of this products. Featured. Let's go ahead and bring this into the welcome page now. We'll accept it as a prop. And then we'll go up to where those images are, which is right here. And now here we can say B4 the index in featured E equals index, which now instead of this gibberish, we can just say the name for the href. Well, we don't have a show page yet, so we'll just leave that as it is for now, but we can also add our image. So let's get rid of this right here. We'll add the image, and then our alt will be feet name, and that should be good. Let's go ahead and get rid of these extra ones. And now let's check the browser and see if that worked. Okay, cool. We have our images, and we don't have any links yet, but that's fine. The other thing I want to do is, in the event that a product does not have an image, so let's say it has our default image, we really don't want that default image to be displayed on this page ever. So what we need to do is add something to the welcome controller. What we can do here is say where, and then we'll just say image does not equal defaults no image JPG. And that should ensure that we don't have anything ever that is the default image. Fantastic. So now we can close out the welcome controller, and we'll leave this up for now. But what I want to do is when we either click the image or we click the categories, I want them to go to a product page which has a listing of all of our products. So to do that, I want to set up a controller. We're going to call it shop controller. I want to make it resourceful, and I also want to attach the model, which is product. Okay, let's go ahead and open up the shop controller. For now, I just want to display the page and get some products on there. So we're going to return Inertia render, and we'll call it shop, and then the page will be index. And then we're going to pass in some products, or all of the products for now. We'll say products. Okay, so let's go ahead and create the route for this first so that we have something to go to. And let me make a space. I'm also going to separate these like this. So we're going to say shop, just to have some difference. Then it's route, get, shop controller, class, index, and then we'll name it shop index. Okay, and that should be imported up top. Great. Oh, we can also get rid of this. And I think we can get rid of, no, we're still using Inertia for right now. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and create this shop index page. We'll go to pages, and then we're going to create a folder called shop. And the first one we're going to have in here is index.view, products. And then I can't ever remember this. I need this. We'll just grab this. Okay, I'll leave the, well, no, I'll take this out. For now, I'll just take all of this stuff out. We'll add it back in a bit. Then we'll accept the props of products. Let's go to the browser, and now we'll hit that route. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and start adding some things. The first thing that I want to add is that app layout that we made. And I probably shouldn't have deleted it from there, but here we are, app layout. And I need a T up here. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and make sure that that layout is coming through. Now I want to create like a little bar right in between here. And that's going to serve as like a little sub navigation. I'll go ahead and paste some code in here. And we need this link. Inertia view 3, and we also need to add it to our components. Okay, and let's take a look. All this is a header, okay, with a div inside of it. It's going to have the link for the welcome page, and that's going to be displayed in text with home. Okay, so let's go see what that looks like. Great, so that's showing through, and we have our hover state. And if you look down at the bottom left, you'll see that it's linking back to the home page. So the next thing I want to do is bring in some categories. I want them to be displayed on the left-hand side, going down like this. And we need to head over to the, I can close this for now. So here we'll just say categories. And remember, these all functions, we are going to be changing them a bit later because it's not really good for performance to use all. So we are going to be changing that. So don't freak out. Don't message me that, you know, it's the end of the world, because it's not. We are going to change it eventually. Let's see. So here now we can accept the categories. And then right under the header, we are going to create a new div with the class of flex, another div with the classes of border r. And in here, we also need the width of 1/5. And let me bring this up so you can see it better. Div, another div with text white. Text center, EG gray 700, EY 4. And we're just going to have a P tag in here, and it's just going to say shop by category. And under here, we're going to have another div with the classes of flex, all, divide, y. And here we're just going to have a link. For now, it's not going to go anywhere. And we're going to say v4, category, index, in categories, key equals index, Then in here, we'll just put category name. Now I just want to paste in some classes. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, cool. It will hover white once I get the category slugs and everything linked in. Fantastic. Let's head back. And then under, let me pull this up a little bit. Under this div here, I'm just going to paste in some code so you don't have to watch me type it all out. This has a border on the right. This one is going to have a border on the left, and it's width 4/5. We're going to have a link with all of our products, and our products are basically going to be displayed in a list of 3, but it's also going to be mobile ready so that you can shrink it down and then it won't mess up the sizing. It'll keep it in a good proportion and aspect ratio. So we're going to be looping over the products with the image, the price, and the product name. Okay, and let's check the browser and see what we see. Fantastic. So a few things we're going to change in here. For one, I want to fix these prices. The other thing is that I want to do something about the categories. So one thing that I want to have, we're going to end up having a category name, and we are also going to have these display the categories. So right now it's just listing everything, all of our items. So let's head over to the shop controller and start working in here. So what we can do here is, before we get to the return, we are going to create a variable and we're going to call it categories. And then we're going to say this equals category all. And I think that that's okay to do because for this project in particular, it's only going to be 4 categories. Unless something else happens, you can change however you want to do this. But for me, I'm just going to put all for this because I only have 4 categories in my project. If I'm going to have more, I will change this all for sure. But for now, it's not really all that important. So we'll say if request category, then what we want to do here is we're going to say products equals product where has categories. And I'm sure there's some new nifty function to handle this, but this is the way I'm used to doing it, so I'm just going to do it this way. If you find something better, then absolutely use it. Query. Okay, so now the query will be where slug is the request category. And now here we can also put in random order get. Okay, so that's going to take care of that, which means that now here, instead of this product all, we can just do products. Then for categories, we can just say categories. So that'll be the first thing that we do. If the request category, then we are going to create a products variable. We're going to look for where the product has categories, where the slug equals the request category, and then we're going to display them in random order. We're going to get, if that is true, that will happen. Else, products equals product in random order get. Now let's go ahead into the index page. For this link, the href will now be route shop index, and then we're also going to need to pass in a parameter, which is category. And that category will be defined by category slug, and then also we can bind some classes as well. And then we'll say route. What this will do is this over here, when we're on that category, and it's going to be up here in our query, in our URL, when we're on that page, so let's say we're on the men's page or the kids page or home goods, these will have the class that shows that it's an active class. So we'll be in the kids and we'll be able to easily see it here. So route.current, and this is Ziggy right here. If you're curious about how this current route works, just take a look at the Ziggy documentation. Shop index. And then we'll say category slug. If it's that, then the class will be BG gray 700 and the text will be white. That hover state that we have is the same classes we're going to add for the active class. So if it's that, then it's that. Else, it'll be empty. Make sure I have my colon Let's go ahead and look and see if we have that. Okay, so now you can see we're getting everything in random order, which is fine. Let's click women's. Our query says women's, and we have all women's listed here. Go to men's, all men's listed here. And as you can see, the classes are active on those things, home goods, all home goods. And remember, we had the one women's item that was also home goods. Fantastic. The other thing I want to do is bring in a category name, and I want it, this is going to be our section for our breadcrumbs. So we're going to put this in here, and we also are going to add it to our title up here on the browser. In the shop controller, we are going to, for the request category, we are going to add another variable. We're going to call it category name. And we're going to say that equals categories where slug is request category. We'll be looking for the first one. And for that first one, we will be looking at the name. This category name we can bring down here and we'll pass it into our view. If there's a request category, it's going to be what the slug is of the category that we're looking for. If it's not, we're going to have a generic one, and it's just going to say all. And I'll show you how we're going to address that on the front end. Let's go ahead and pass this to the view. We need to head down to our props, and here we can just say category name. Now, in order to get it in the title bar, we know that the app layout, it has a head where we can pass in the title. So that's what we're going to use to do this. In here, we can say title equals, for this, we're going to need some backticks, and then we're going to say shop, and then whatever the category name is. Let's see if that works before we continue on. This localhost should be that category name. Shop home goods, coder shop. Fantastic. Let's start bringing it into the rest of our page. So under this home link that we have here, I am going to want to put in span, and in the span, it's going to say shop, category name. And for this div, we're going to have our search bar in here. So for now, I'm just going to put search. The other thing I want to do is bring in another icon for this, one of those little angle right icons. So I'm going to open up the icons file, and here I'm going to add the new icon. This one's just going to be angle right. I've already gone over how to do this. It's here for you. Right above the shop category name, we can do icon. Did I name it icons? Yeah, I did, with an S. We can do name equals angle right, and the classes are going to be width 4, height 4, fill current. Okay, did I miss something? What's the error? I know why. It's because we don't need to import it here. We have it globally, and my extension finally decided to work. It's fine. Let's see, icons. Okay, so now let's go back, and now we should see it right in here. So refresh. Nope, pretty sure I named it icons. Let's see. Icon. Okay, I did not name it icons. I named it icon. Okay, good. There it is. That still goes home, and that says now shop home goods. Fantastic. And this says search. We'll deal with this later. Just ignore it for now. It's just a placeholder. You know, sometimes people ask me, why do I insist on leaving my mistakes in my videos? Well, that's because I make mistakes all the time. We make things, we break them, we fix them, we learn something, we move on. That's what this channel's about. So what I want to do now is I want to head over to the welcome page. I want to use these category buttons and send them to that new product page that we have, and we are going to pass in the parameters of these categories. These are going to go to the individual product pages, so it'll be for Kids 3, that page. We haven't done any of that yet. We've just done the main product page. That's what we're going to work on now. And we'll go up to the welcome component where we are listing out those categories. And now in here, we can do the route, and it'll be colon, say route, shop, index. And now we can also pass in the category slug. Let me give this some spacing, and hopefully that should bring us to that product page. Let's try to click kids. Okay, so we are at kids, and it's also highlighted here too. The last thing I want to do in here for today, I know that we need to do these prices and I'm going to probably do them in the next episode. I want to take this whole entire bar here and I want to put it in its own component. I want to extract it into something a little bit more dynamic since we're going to be using this bar in other pages. Okay, so let's close this out. This is what we're going to need right here. I'm just going to go up to components and I'm just going to take this one and duplicate it. And this one I'm going to call secondary header. Okay, so this, we can get rid of this and this. Now we can go ahead and take out this whole header. Let me make this smaller for us. I'm going to take this all out. And I'm going to paste it in here. Okay, so first let's bring in our link. Cool. For now, I'm just going to I don't really need this in here. I'm going to go ahead and put it back here for now. And here's the thing. What we're going to be using pretty much all over the place is really just this search bar right here and the home link that we have going back to the welcome page, which means that we can use slots to kind of fill in those gaps on those other pages. To show you what I mean, we're going to do a slot. And this one, we're only going to name it breadcrumbs. So basically on any page that we put this secondary header, if there is something with the title of breadcrumbs, then that will just be passed into this component. So we can now go back here and we can bring in that component. And maybe that will auto import for us. No, of course it didn't. Only works when I don't really need it to. Import secondary header from at components, secondary header. Down here we can do secondary header. Okay, let's open this up. And in here I'm going to add a template and then I'm going to give it a hash. And the hash that I'm going to give it is that breadcrumbs. This way Vue will know that this slot named breadcrumbs is being called on this component. Now we can take this, bring this up. That should be good. Let's go back and make sure if we did break it, it didn't break too badly. Okay, it's the exact same thing. Great, fantastic. I'm going to leave it there for now. I am going to push all this code up to GitHub and leave a link for that down in the description, as well as the Dropbox link for all of the images that we're using in our project. Don't forget to activate the notifications for the channel so that you will be updated every time I post a new video, as well as I will be leaving a link for the playlist in the description so that you can have easy access to all of the videos in this series. Thanks for watching and I will see you guys next time.